All right, and we're live. Okay, so we're live on TikTok. We're live over here on our other platform. I did something different with the lights today. I kind of changed it so it was like, I guess ooh, speakers and everything are falling. I'm trying something just a little bit different because I noticed like the background is kind of wild as it is. Kind of pull that back out just a little bit. There we go. Background's kind of wild as it is, and there's a lot to it. And I was like, hey, you know what? We'll kind of keep it nominal. We'll kind of tone this down so this becomes more of the focus. So, today we are working on the Mould King. This is the Huracan STO of Wasteland Street. Now they have a bunch of okay. In the past for Mould King, I've gotten boats. I've gotten a pier. I've gotten a harbor. It was like a bar and like apartment sort of thing. I've gotten multiple Mould Kings. So I've gotten those two. Got a police boat, discovery boat, which is like the boat that my diver's on now, and gotten what else? Rescue boat, police boat, dive boat, pier, harbor. So I'm familiar with Mould King. Yo, what's up, Kobe? I know, right? And guess what? Nothing changed. I'm still old, man. Actually, the only thing that changed, I got a new tattoo. So I did get a. It is a plate measure, and I'll show you like as we get into it. I can't put it into the tattoo because it's still fresh, but I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, you saw that? It's pretty cool. So the Mould King sets we're familiar with. Like we've done this before. It comes with sticker sheets. This is the only set out of all of the cars that has a little like diorama with it. So I figured we would put this one together, 601 pieces, and probably this will be a shorter day because we have a live event on Fortnite coming up at like 2:30. So I want to be, well, it's 3:30, but 2:30 for me, so I want to be available for that. So I figured we'll put this one together. It's weird. Normally I have bigger sets because it's meant for like Luma bricks and stuff, but I was like, you know what? This one has been eyeballing me for a while. This is one of those. I've really been wanting to put this together. So I figured that's what we'll do. All right. Unfortunately, it does not distinguish between bags. That's kind of on par. Now it says that we should have 5 bags. And when I was going through this, I found bag 1, 2, and then technically another number 2, 3, and 4. But I kind of wonder if this is considered the bag 5, and we're just kind of dumping it all together. From what I remember, they don't have a very good track record of organizing their bags. So we're gonna open them all. We're gonna pray. And we're gonna hope that we got everything in there. So it's gonna be some stacked trays today. Lots of big, like these are what, 6x6 tiles. You don't get these very often. Okay, so we'll do this one, man. Okay, so there's a lot here. You know what? These might have to go over here on the side. There's just like there's some big bulky stuff, and then there's like some smaller things. There's big bulk, medium bulk, and some small. So what we'll do is we'll put anything small, we'll put over here. Anything that's substantial in size, we'll put right here. This one will go here. Let's open up 4. Unfortunately, they have us doing every single one. This is the one part about Mould King that I'm not a big fan of. I like having things a little more organized. This is not the way we do it. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna pull this off. Woo! Almost feel at this point like I should have sorted everything beforehand, because this is a little much. Okay. So this looks like it's all car. All car and car parts. We'll open these. So how's everybody doing on Saturday? Hopefully everybody's doing good. Anybody doing the Fortnite live event today? Because that's something I hadn't really been following all of the season and the story, but I was like, you know what? I've missed several of the last live events. So I was like, you know, this might be a good thing for me to do. Speed Champions Day for you? That's cool, because actually the this STO is the Mould King. It's actually Speed Champion size. What car are you putting together, Ryan? All right. And let's see. We're gonna pull this. We're gonna put these with this one. I think these are a little more substantial in size. Kobe, you'd be happy to Ferrari 5. Ooh, retired set. Nice. Yeah, that's the red one, isn't it? I think my kid has that one. It's a good looking set if it's the one I'm thinking of. The Kobe, you'd be happy to hear I did open everything in my battle pass. So I did last night. At the very end of the night, I was able to finish up my battle pass. So the 1970 model, yeah, it's a good one. So I'm happy to have that one done. That was one of those that was looming over me for a while, where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get it all finished, but I was able to get it, the very last skins. So we need a 1x12. So how my tattoo works is this. I've got to scale 1x12. Yep. So 1. And let's see. Should be 2 right there. Switch 2. I don't know, man. I thought about it, but I don't know. It's something that I know it's become a lot harder to play on the system that I have playing Fortnite, because they, you know, every year they're upping the graphics, they're upping everything, and my system it's lagging, it's having a hard time. So I don't know, I might be in the market too to have to buy one. I don't necessarily like how they're doing some of the games, like the way that they're doing some of the purchase part of the games, if that makes sense. The Switch is somehow running the better than Xbox. Yeah. Well, I want to say that the internet capabilities for the streaming portion of it, like the processing, is just so high. They've got it like really upped. But I'm kind of wondering if that's the case with a small unit like that. I'm kind of wondering if there's not going to be some heating problems down the road. It's still kind of early on, you know. It's like one of those. It's like can't really tell, but I am starting to wonder. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm seeing like all the specs on it and some of the things that it's able to do. I'm like, man, that's a massive machine. But at the same time, I'm like, how are they running this and it's processing everything perfectly, but it's not having any issues. Because I remember, I don't understand how the Switch One still runs Fortnite. It does. I mean, it. Let me rephrase that. It does, quote unquote. It still runs it okay. Um, I still like. I don't know. I'm still able to open it up. I'm still able to play and get a couple decent games out of it. Sometimes, like some days, it'll run really, really well, and some days it doesn't. I think it also depends on the internet usage, how things are going, and I don't know, man. There's sometimes it seems like it takes forever to load. There are times, especially because I like playing the Fortnite Odyssey, so that's my jam right there. And there will be times I get on, and um, I'll get on and I'm trying to like put a foundation down, or I'm trying to put this one thing down in order to start a build, and it just like kind of like zonks out and it just stops. So it's obvious. I'm. It's like one of those where it's like obviously I'm kind of in the market for a new system. I would need to get one, but I still very much like my Switch, and I like, you know, the fact that we got games and stuff on it that I can play and I own, and if the internet's off, I can still play them offline. It's not a problem. Though my friend he has a Switch that he was talking about selling to me, and I asked him how much and everything, and I can't remember what quote he gave me, but I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be doing that anytime soon. Well, that Switch One, it is a great system. Yeah, the Switch One, despite despite the fact that, you know, they are pushing it out, it's still a bestseller for Nintendo. Like, still to this day, even there are people that are still going out and buying the OLED because it's a solid system. You know, I thought about it at one point, because, you know, you can trade stuff in and get, you know, discount off on this, and, you know, and I'm like, you know what? I think I would keep my my Switch One. What Marvel sets would you recommend, but not the Adventure Tower or Daily Bugle? The Oscorp Tower. Oh yeah. You know, actually, Infinity Bricks, he did the Oscorp Tower by oh man, what was that company? By Barweir, and that thing looks amazing. Um, Other sets for Marvel, the Milano, if you're a Guardians fan, is a must-have. Both the Milano and then the orange ship that came out. Both of those I've heard are wonderful builds. There are some people that are doing the I think it's also through Barweir. They're doing Spider-Man's apartment, and that one I think is a good one to do. Just a long build, yeah. And here's the thing: sometimes, man, long builds are not bad. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we got 12s going here, and then 10s going here. So what's cool about this set, and one of the things I like about it, is that, like I said, it's got a car in it, but then it's also it's got a little street scene, so you can display this thing out with a street scene, and I'll probably over time incorporate this into the city build. And you know, I could probably like shoehorn like a light in there, probably replace that thing down the road and like put a light in there. But for right now, I think just building it as is, reviewing it, checking it out. Let's see. Have a good day. Hey, you're welcome. I know Kobe took over that one. He knows his Marvel builds really well. So we got one. Let's find it. I should have two of these. One of those. Mould King has this habit of making these L plates, which are they're basically a 4x4, but it's a 4x4 L plate. So it takes out one of the 2x2 plate pieces inside. Kind of interesting that they do that. I don't think I've ever, maybe I've come across that in Lego, but that's not a usual, not something I normally see. 1, 2, put our L plate down. 3 and 4. Now, one thing I have noticed with Mould King is that you really want to press those. If you have plates on plates, you want to press it down because otherwise there are clutch problems. Before you leave, would you build the Iron Man Mark III? Oh yeah. If I could get, and I'm not one for the giant minifigs, but that is definitely one. Seeing the reviews on it and seeing people building it, it is, from what I know, an absolutely phenomenal build. It's amazing. Even more so now, they have a light kit for it too that you can get, and that light kit makes like the repulsors on his hands glow, makes the arc reactor on his chest glow. Like, it's, from what I've seen, it is a beautiful and solid build. So yeah, that would definitely be, I'd forgotten about that, but yeah, that would be a good build to do. I tend to do a lot of the small Marvel stuff. All right. So let's see. So we've got, I guess this is supposed to be like glass. So we're using 1x1 tiles, cheese bricks or brick slopes, and 1x1 studs to create like texture of glass, which is pretty cool. So I guess it's like a rough alley here. Cars get broken into probably. Boom. And boom. There you go. That's a little weird. They're putting things like right on that, and there's nothing supporting it underneath. So when we put the tiles down up here, we're really gonna have to work on that, because look how flimsy that is. That should have some sort of like, probably like a 2x16 running through the bottom of this. That would definitely be something I would correct down the road. I don't know much about. Hey, Brick Trucker, what's up, brother? I don't know much about the Marvel sets, dude. I don't know. You're doing pretty good. I'm getting the Module King. Ooh, the V11 supercar engine set. Nice. You are knowledgeable. Yeah, we're doing some Mould King today. Hey, handsome man, check it out, right? What's up, Gabe? Yeah, I did. I found on the Rainforest one, I found another Mould King set that I picked up, and we'll probably do that one next week, unless, I don't know. I've got some in soon. I've got some other stuff I need to work through. So, Gabe, you got any good jokes for me today, man? Because I need a good laugh. Absolutely need a good laugh. Let's see, we got 1. Let's see, 2, 3. Let's see. You have a joke? All right, let me hear it. What's going on? Hey, looky there. I caught that one. hard times. Like, my vision's been corrected with these glasses, and then sometimes I'm like, ugh. I had a spatial problem. Give me a second. Let me run through and find these little wedges. Have you seen the movie Constipated? You know, I haven't watched it. I hear it keeps getting stuck in the theaters. Oh, the movie Constipated. Let's hear it. No, it hasn't come out yet? Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. What, there was actually a movie that we saw a trailer for, and I thought it was a joke at first, but it's like Fart, I think. It was something, oh man, I don't even, it's something my kid found. And the movie is called, I think it's called just Fart. And it is, I don't even know, I couldn't even make it through the trailer because I was just kind of like, what? I was like astounded by it. But yeah, there's some weird stuff out there. I remember my kid, or not my kid, one of my friends, way back in the day, he was going to create a movie called Fart. And what the premise was, is it was a whole band of guys. This is from one of my old friends, Mike Weeby. It was a whole band of guys that were coming together, and they were farting inside of a giant balloon. And what it was is they were going to hold the world hostage and tell everyone that they had to pay in, I think it was like something, it wasn't even like ridiculous amount of money. It was like $130,000. It's something kind of dumb. Or they were going to pop the balloon on the city and make everyone sniff their farts. That just made a really bad joke. You mean Constipated the movie? No, that was a great joke. I dug it, man. I dug it. Alright. So these... Here, these we're going to have to lift and do this way. I found with these tiles, especially the bigger the tiles, sometimes the harder it is. This is, look, that's going to be a problem right there. And we're not staggering anything there, so that's going to be awkward. That's not going to be good. Yeah, we're not going to be fixing it down the road either. So I don't know. Not quite sure about that one. They probably should have had something to cross this. Even like that. But no, just thought of a different one. All right, lay it on me, Kobe. I'm always good for some jokes. Okay. Fart Part 2, Gone with the Wind. No, because I don't want to... Okay, yeah, maybe don't then. Maybe don't. You know, you could always... If you want to tell me, you could always tell me just on my DM, okay? And we'll do it that way. We'll play it safe today. You know what I mean? We'll do the safe thing here. But now my brain's like reeling. I'm like, oh, come on, what is it? But I have a feeling that it's gonna be bad in a really good way. That's just my gut feeling on it, though, man. All right, 1x2, 1x1s. We need 2 of these 1x1s. And then 2 of these wedges. Let's find it here. One of these 1x1s here. And like a whole sea of parts here. One. Is it two? No. Yeah, it's two of these wedges. Rosinskis. That's not good. All right, let's see. There are restrictions out on. Oh, there are directors. Wait, hold on. There's a director's cut on DVD, silent but deadly cut. But Gabe, did you? So let me ask you: did you look up that movie I was talking about, Fart? I think that's exactly what it's called. It's just called Fart. It was. There's a part of me that's like, I don't want to tell you to look it up, because then you're gonna be like, bro, you sent me out here to do all this stupid stuff. Hey, Cat King, what's up? But I think I was on, like, I can't remember what we were on that I saw it, and he was just laughing. He's like, yeah, isn't this funny? And I'm like, dude, what in the world are you searching up? All right. Then this is going this way. So we're using the wedges here to create some busted street, which is kind of cool. But again, nothing to reinforce that. Oh. See, it would have been easy just to, like, move this tile here and move it forward and put some stuff there. But I don't know. This might, especially if it's going to have, like, longevity, this right here, because if you look, like right there, that's loose. This might have to change, or put like some sort of plate behind it. Just something to hold that together. Let's see. Bro, Xbox is selling. I hooked up the new trailer. Looked at the trailer for it, but it was a bit too loud. It wasn't Silent Night, Deadly Night. something a little more ostentatious, huh? There was oh man, it was, I think I was on the YT, and I was checking out videos. There's like this whole series of videos where it's like a skeleton. It's like what if sort of thing. You said it stunk. Nice. You are in form today, my man. Oh yeah, and so it was like this whole thing about if it was like it was like why silent farts are deadlier than normal farts, and it had this whole thing about like poison with the bacteria, with the gases, that the bacteria in your stomach. I mean, it was wild. I'm like, I can't believe this passes as entertainment sometimes. And then I started thinking about it, and the fact that I laugh at this stuff incessantly like a madman. I'm like, okay, I get it now. Let's see. Wait, is that movie the sequel to Constipated? No, the movie, the sequel to Constipated is Blown Away. It's ridiculous, man. Oh, you guys got me cracking up over fart jokes, huh? Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. See, this is where I am so entertained being on the internet. Let's see. Selling their consoles while Xbox is selling their business. Whoa! Oh, hold up. Okay, so I missed something. So Xbox is selling their business? Like they're going under? Save director waiting to excel. Oh man, you're wrong for that. That's brilliant. Oh man, that's brilliant. Waiting to excel. Oh, people are gonna get on here. They're like, man, I can't take these guys seriously. Apparently, wow. Okay. You know that? Oh, dude, that might be the news then. Because here's the thing, like, thinking of like Nintendo. Just okay. Thinking of Nintendo just on the business side of things, right? If Nintendo purchases out Xbox and Microsoft, well, I guess it would just be Xbox. Is it Xbox or is it Microsoft? Because if they're purchasing out the console power of Xbox and they have that, if they have a lot of the properties of Bungie, then they will be they have some good things that they build it correctly and get the right directors behind it. They've got some good stuff from Bungie that they not necessarily revamp but kind of add in some how do I put it? Add in some sequels and some offshoots of some IPs that we all love. Like I would love to see, like Destiny. I loved Destiny. But you can't, like, I don't think you can play it on the Nintendo. And so if that were available to play on the Nintendo, I mean, they've already got my business there. And I'd even go back to kind of some of the older games because like I said, I enjoyed that one. I loved the first Destiny. I thought it was great. I had it on PlayStation 3. And when my console burnt up, when the HDMI went out, I was never able to get another system or get it fixed. So I would be down for that. Alright, here we go. I'm going to pop this on here. We got ourselves a cat. We always like having cats. Looky there. Meow. So I got more cats for the city. It's starting to feel like my yard right now. I'll have my Ring camera will go off like sometimes consistently. I had to change the level of it because it kept going off because of cats running back and forth in the yard. We got a whole random slew of cats. Okay, and that's gonna go there. We got ourselves a cat. Nice. Hey Jeff, what's up? Cat Ranch. Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's interesting because like, okay, when my kid was small, he was like, oh no, he was still, man, I don't even know. It's been a while, but he was maybe 5, and Dorito, the cat that hangs out outside of our house now all the time, hold on, this brick is stuck. There we go. She was born from another cat that was, had a whole bunch of kittens. And that first slew of kittens was named Shadow, Dorito, Rocco, and Tiger. And I think my neighbor has Tiger. Rocco disappeared. We don't know what happened to her. Dorito stuck around. Shadow came around for a little bit, and then he finally disappeared. I think they all kind of moved on. And then Doritos had a couple sets of kittens, including one set that I ended up giving one of the kittens to our Amazon driver. So, yeah. Shadow, yeah, so we had this, so a lot of the cats are named after after cats that I had grown up as a kid. And so when I was a kid, there was this one cat that came around our house. So I grew up on a ranch, and there was this one. He was solid black and he had brown eyes. So usually it's weird because they don't have green. But he would slink around. The way he would travel, he would go through shadows of trees and stuff. So he was always like kind of zoned out, like he was really hard to see. But he would come and hang out underneath like trees and stuff, and always just kind of be around. So he would eat whatever food we had left out, and it was a farm cat, right? You have a cat named Shadow. And so when these cats were born, and we had one of them that he was jet black, and he had green eyes though. And so I thought back on my childhood. I thought about that cat, and so I named him Shadow. He was a beautiful cat. I kind of wish that he was still around, but I'm hoping he's okay. He's black and cuddly. Aw. Yeah, my kid, he has a black cat now. Her name is Luna. And she doesn't like being picked up because she's a rescue. But she's tubby. She's a tubby cat, right? She's got kind of a lot of thick squishy on her. She's like a squishable. Anyways, she will, if you pet her, she'll just sit there and like rub on you, and just start purring. And she'll do this weird, like, kind of like poking thing in the side of your leg, and then kind of curl up on you. So she's a snuggler when she's ready for it. Have you, hold on, I'm looking for this part. Have you posted any pictures of Shadow? I have two black cats. One is Sammy and the other is Shadow. Nice, Sammy. I like that name. Originally with the cats, because we had Tiger and then we had Shadow, and one I wanted to name Dean and one I wanted to name Sam. But I got outvoted. And if you're asking, yes, I was gonna name them after the Hanson kids. No, yeah, Supernatural. It's like, what? Hanson kids? What are you talking about, man? All right, we got one, two, three, and should have 4 of these. 4. Yeah, we're kind of waiting to see. We're waiting to see if Lego will ever pick up anything for the license for Supernatural. Because I gotta tell you, if they did the Supernatural car with a Sam and Dean Winchester minifig, oh dude, I would so get that. Yeah, I bet you thought yeah, I bet you thought I've never seen Supernatural. No, I figured you had. Dude, Supernatural, surprisingly, there are some people I know at my work that I'm very surprised have seen Supernatural. But dude, Supernatural, that's a cultural icon at this point. It's a great series, though I do feel like it went on way too long. I felt like they should have ended it at season 13. And actually, there's a point when I kind of drop off. I haven't seen it once. Oh, you haven't seen it once? It's a fun series. I loved season 1. I thought it was really good. Season 2 is a lot of fun. It starts getting... There are some seasons that get really, really, really goofy. And not in a good way goofy. Kind of just like so over the top. And so some of the season I can't follow. But like the season where these things called Leviathans, they're actually kind of cool. There's like one part of the season when like one main character dies, and then he's like the spirit of, and he comes back. Sometimes it got a little convoluted. Jeff, I am building the Mould King Huracan STO in the Wasteland Street. Give me a second, and I'll pull the box up here for you. I'm missing a tile, it looks like. I'll have to look in the other box, but it's this one right here. Ooh, shiny. Out of there, so it's like a Speed Champion style car. So it's an 8-stud wide car. But it is, it's the only one out of the series that I know of that actually comes with it's right in front of me, with a display. And so I was like, you know what? I like the idea of the display part. All right, hold on, Kobe. There we go. Now I'll go there. Let's see. I've never seen it once, but I've seen it 12 times. Oh, I get it. So how many times you've watched the entire series? 12 times? And I have not gotten through, I will admit, I love the series, but I've never gone through the entire series in one sitting. That was something, maybe that's like one of the goals for this summer, is to hit up and watch all the whole series. I think that might be kind of interesting. Yeah. My wife, she digs that series a lot. Is one of those where so there's certain things she'll watch over and over and over. Supernatural, that's one of them. And then ER. She's now gotten into the series called The Pit. So let's see. Gilmore Girls used to be like a guilty pleasure of hers. She would watch that one all the time. But she kind of pulled back. She doesn't watch it so much. So now it's Supernatural, ER, Avatar: The Last Airbender. You enjoyed seasons 4 through 15. Game of Thrones. Yeah, now I've never seen Game of Thrones. And the thing is that it's on the HBO thing. I've never gotten around to watching it. Heard really good things. It's something I definitely should try, but it'll be one of those I can't watch with my kid around, apparently. So, and that's become a kind of a hard part for me, is to watch things sometimes, because I don't always have access to the TV around here. I got to pull this back up to my face. Oh, dude. Now I do really enjoy Castiel. Like I said, I would watch it with her. So there's there's characters and things that I would see. Like, of course, when I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He was the guy that I think he lost his wife and the baby, and he was being attacked by Lucifer. Like, I remember like those bits of storyline I thought were really good. And then I've seen off and on different things, like when Dean sacrificed himself and I think goes to, or he dies. I don't know if he goes to hell. And I know when Sam goes and he's like locked up in the pit. I've seen like lots of different story arcs and pieces and parts, but I haven't sat to watch them all, I guess you could say. Let's see. Castiel was my favorite till Jack showed up in season 13. And you're talking about Nick. Okay, yeah. And see, I don't really remember anything. Like, I know of Jack because that was like the other. Is that the other Winchester brother that that came, and then he became like the body for Gabriel or something when Dean kept backing out of it. See, now I'm gonna have to go and watch this whole series so we can continue talking. Hey Keith, what's up? Look what you did, Kobe. Come on, man. I didn't have room to put more series on my plate. Now I'm gonna have to do it this summer. No, Jack is Lucy's son. Okay. Man. See. Yeah. All right. This summer, man. I guess that's the thing. This summer I've got to watch through and start checking out all the stuff that I've been missing. See, because like I feel lost, and so that way, if Lego does an actual supernatural car set, and I get one, I can call myself a true fan. All right, got ourselves a bracket. Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that one. Uh-oh. Got a restriction. Let me see what it is. Let's see. It says your live is not eligible for recommendation. It's restricted because it redirects users to purchase products outside of TikTok. I don't know how, but you know, whatevs. they're going to try to get anything and everything out of me, I guess. Okay. So this is kind of weird. I'm looking here. Give me a minute. So I guess this is supposed to sit up here. Okay, I see. Yeah, there's okay, so Mould King has this kind of weird thing where sometimes they have a direction that doesn't specifically make a lot of sense. And it'll be something simple like this piece hanging off the end. But they're not really turning the mold, like the model in the directions, and they're not really having you like look at it from a different angle. And the way that they put the pin lines on there to show you where it lines up doesn't always make sense. That is going to end up becoming a problem. I can already see it. I've already got ideas in mind of what to do to change that down the road. But like I said, I build, then review, and then I go to town. It's because you're talking about a supernatural car set. Yeah, I guess so. They're like, no, you can't do that. Though the thing is that it's not anything that's well, I guess there are some of the, they're not Lego though. They're not Speed Champions. That's why it's restricted. Yeah. Here's the thing, it's not Speed Champions. There are some sets available. There's actually some sets available in the TikTok shop that I've kind of looked at. And that some of those might be actually kind of cool to check out. But I have to, I'm not on a buying freeze, but I'm kind of on a buying like hold off a little bit due, because I kind of overspent some monies. Let's see. Oh yeah, did you know I said so you know how I said that Xbox is selling? Yeah. So what's going on? Did you find like more info about it? Hey Vision, what's up? That's definitely something I want to look up today and find out what's going on with that one. Alright, and then we're going to turn this one back that way. Kind of some cool building stuff. That crab, oh dude, that crab set is grand. And I was gonna say hit me up later, because it's in my bio. I got it there, Jeff. If you want to look, it's actually, I believe I put it in my bio, so you got access to it. It's a cool set. I I dug building it. It was a fun, like, just kind of a fun snap together sort of build. But even more than that, like, just the whole premise of it, and then taking that and like putting it into the city. And at one point, because I did, because I also do like the minifig club. I put it for, it was like the theme of the club this year for our postcards. I took a picture of it and some minifigs. So let's see. I like how you put all the giant animals. You totally. Well, so it kind of started. Let me pull this. So it started with this. I got a whole set of these printed tiles, right? I'm gonna show it right here. There's that one. I'll show it right up here. So it says, "Caution, radioactive water." And there's others like toxic radioactive materials, warning material and I got it initially because I was gonna make a radioactive box for my Time Machine Speed Champion set. And I never, it's like I started and I got the Time Machine built, I enjoyed it, and I got some other, like the characters from Back to the Future 2, like their different versions and everything. I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. And I never got around to building the boxes. I just couldn't find anything that I felt worked for the box portion. And so I still have the tiles to keep up with it. But I started looking at that radioactive water, and I'm like, how cool would that be to put a sign out in the harbor when I get that second part of the mock built, where it's like I've got this crab coming out of the water, and it's all like radioactive water, and there's like a science station out there and some military and like all this kind of crazy presence. And then I could just add in little kaiju here and there. You can make a toxic water display. Yeah, well, and the thing is, I've got, let's see, I've got a whole bunch. Get out of there. I got a whole bunch of these colored tiles, and there's a whole bunch of orange ones. And so I was thinking about doing like kind of orange into yellow, back into like some green. I think I've got some green ones in there too. And then use that as in the water, kind of going off. And I was just gonna see if I could find them and order a couple of the barrels. So I have a couple of barrels floating and put them on like little slopes, so they're, or like the little tilt things, so they're tilted down so that it's almost like they're floating. And so I was gonna put some barrels out there and then have the crab like leave a spot for one of the leg to go and have him like mocked up in there, because he won't stay on the Lumabrick set for long. But it's like once I get kind of areas clean, I'm able to build the second table and clear some space out here. Yeah, I think it would be awesome. Let's see. So they aren't selling, but the Xbox Series is 45% behind PlayStation sales percentage. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm guessing is that the brand new console? It's not new though, is it? Let's say I felt like that system has been out. Because I mean, if it's brand new, it's like one of those. It's like, well, we can't really judge too much on launch day sales just because it's hasn't been out that long. Okay, so we got one, and then one going this way, and one here, and then a brick on the end here. Okay, boom. All right, and then we've got another brick, 2 plates. 1x3s to be exact. 1x3 plates. 1, 2, and 1. Alright. Hey Jessica, or hey Vision. How are you? So, let me ask, is anybody gonna do the live event today? Cause I really like the Fortnite live event. Hey, thank you for the heart, me. I appreciate that. Because I definitely want to get on and do something. I've got some old work colleagues I normally will do live events with today, or do live events with. And actually, I was gonna say today, if my kid's available, if we get his stuff set up, I'm wondering if he and I can do it. We haven't done something like that together in a while. 3 and should have 4 in here. 4. Let's see. So the Xbox has sold 34 million units since it came out. Okay, but the PS5 has sold 90 million units. Ooh, yeah. The PS5, I remember like when seeing advertising and seeing things on it, I felt like it had more coverage than the new Xbox system. I don't even remember hearing much about the new Xbox system coming out, so that could, I mean, that could be just straight up like marketing. Hey dude, what's up?
Turn the heat on 3 for eggs.
What's that?
If I turn the heat on 3 for eggs.
Oh, for, are you cooking, what are you cooking?
Eggs.
Like how are you cooking eggs? Hard boil or
Just
like scrambled?
Yeah.
Put butter in the pan, put it on 3, and then switch around, then yeah, do your eggs that way. 3 is probably 4 at the highest, but 3 is probably your best bet.
Why is it so dark in here?
Well, I turned it down because I know my background was so bright that it was, people were saying it was hard to see what was going on, so I kind of kept this light here that pulled everything else down.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm kind of bored.
Kind of bored?
Ooh. What is that?
That's an old Batman set. I need to open it. Huh?
Can I have it?
Can you have it?
Yeah. I'll use it.
You'll use it. I'll think about it, man. I'll think about it, because it was one of those, I've got the car and stuff, but you know what? Here, let me think about it while I'm on live, and maybe I'll unbox it, and maybe you can keep it, or I'll find you another one, because I know there's multiple sets out there, and we'll get you squared away with something, okay?
Alright. I'm gonna take it.
Don't take my stuff. That's my review sample. I've had it forever, and I need to actually review it. Who's Mateo?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
What does this mean? You know I'm Unk, man. You know I don't understand these references.
It's not a reference to anything. Asher made it up.
Oh, hold up. It says I need to get the kid off the screen. TikTok will restrict me. Uh-oh.
Huh?
Yeah, let's see. Because it redirects users. It's still saying it redirects users.
But I'm not a kid. I'm Unk.
He says he's Unk.
Do I have to go?
Probably for the best. It's not going to be that long of a build today.
Alright.
I'm just building these 2 things.
Bye-bye.
Hey, listen, you've got access to the TV, so the TV is all yours.
Bye-bye.
And hey,
Yeah?
if you go hang out with your friends, you can message me, but also make sure you take your phone.
Yeah.
Okay? Did you try to download anything, or?
Yeah, it's still updating.
Okay. Bye. All right. Let's see, that's gonna go right here. Yeah, let's see. Oh no, don't say that. It's okay. I need 4 of those. There we go. Yeah, he slept in. This is our last week for spring break. And yesterday he went with a friend. They went axe throwing. And so he came home with an axe. I'm like, "Oh, yay. You have an axe in the house." I'm like, please don't have an axe to grind with anyone. Can you put it away? But apparently he did really, really well at the axe throwing range, because he was hitting like all these like hardcore targets. I'm trying to keep the stream safe. No, dude, you're good. You're all good. You're all good, man. Oh man. So yeah, he well, and here's the thing, like I try to keep it I try to keep it kind of PG nominal as I can, and the reason why is because this is not the only platform I'm on live right now. And so I have a different feed elsewhere, but I do have, I think, kids that watch me from my school. And so I try to keep it, kind of cool, which is why when I do get on with other people, so like if I got on with like Brick Dad, or I get on with like Blue Collar, usually I don't go live on anything else because who knows what's gonna be said on some of the other lives when I join others. There's been some discussion one time that I was like, man, I am so glad I'm not on any other platform right now. And usually those are the ones I do when it's late. It's kind of late at night. I've got some, just kind of silly build that I'm working on, nothing too crazy. And I'm not like key featuring like whatever it is I'm doing, 4 more of these bricks. I will admit, man, this is kind of like, that's kind of a pretty cool looking backdrop. So we're building this thing up here. I'll pull it up there for you to see. Pretty slick. I'm wondering if we have if we're going to be putting newspaper stuff on there. It didn't show to put any of the stickers on. Just kind of weird, because usually you want to do that as you move into it. But it did not have anything. Told you that one was going to be a problem. I knew it. Do it like this. See if I can push it up through there. Boom. There you go. Pop that down. There we go. All right. So let's see. But like I was, oh, hold on. Let me do my puzzle piece here. Pop. So I was saying the Switch 2 has sold 17.37 million units since its June release. That's actually, I feel like that number's a little low, to be quite honest, for Nintendo. I know that there's some people that have been holding off, and there's also some people that are still just so enthralled with the Switch, or they had just gotten the OLED, that I guess some people just aren't quite sold on the new Switch yet. It's quite a bit. It's not bad numbers. It's just, I figured something like that would be a little bit higher in its number count right now. You know what I mean? So we've got one by one. No, we don't have a 1x1 tile. We have a 1x1 plate, a 1x3, a 1x4, and a 1x2. There it is. I'm about to say it's got to be in there. I know it's in there. It's too expensive. Yeah, it's. And I can't remember. Like my friend was quoting me on price on getting his, like one of his, because he does a lot of game trading. So he'll get like multiple units. He'll get them on sales. He'll get points back. He uses those points for things, and then he takes and he can sell the other parts on market for, or the systems or whatever on market for discounts or whatever else he needs to get his money back. But he was saying that he's been sitting on his units for a while because just people aren't buying into it so quickly. And I know that was something that was brought up recently in several interviews of people saying that with the cost of gaming, the cost of what they're asking for games and units and things like that, that it's becoming easier to play games on their phone, and to not have to spend all the absorbent amount of money on it. Xbox Series 6 has been out for 5 years. Oh yeah. So okay. So it's been out for 5 years. The PS5 has been out for what, 4, I think. And so in its 6 years, or in its 5 years, it's 5 years, it has not broken the bank yet. I don't know. That's definitely like one of those points where it's like, hey, Xbox, what you doing? You have this opportunity to make something for everybody, and if you don't, I mean, the only person you can blame is yourself. Xbox. Alright, I'm going to set this up. I got to find some extra parts here. So we've got 2 window frames, and their window frames are kind of weird. I have to pull it up to my eyes. That one. And that one. Okay. Put one for one camera and I'll show the other. So one of the weird things about Mould King is that you'll get these frames like this. And so what you have to do is the parts are, you have to snap them in together. So it's kind of like, instead of it being like all one molded piece, it comes in 2 parts, and then you can utilize it for other things. So you can take that and snap that in, or windows sills or whatever. But it makes this part of the build kind of odd. Same thing here. So instead of it being like one piece for a windowsill, you have to like snap it together that way. Have you seen the Fantasy Peanut sets? I have. I was actually, because my neighbor is a huge, he loves Snoopy and Peanuts. And actually, he has 2 dogs. One of them is named Linus, and the other is named Lucy. They're brother and sister. And so he is a avid Peanuts fan. And I actually was looking at those sets as possibly like a present or something. But kind of mentioned it. He's not too big on building sets, so I don't think he would quite appreciate the gift on that level. It's like, well, I could put it together and give it to him, but you know, I don't know if he'd be too into it. But I have thought about some of the sets. Now I know Lego's also done. Didn't they do, it was an Ideas, or it was like a Snoopy set, I think. That's got like the house. It's got what's the bird's name? It's not Mayday. Woodstock. So they've got that set that I think has Woodstock, Snoopy, the house, and then you can kind of like change up and put like, I think like the pilot helmet on Snoopy. And the Peanut sets are not quite as big, the ones with Fantasy that I've seen. Now, you know, think it's kind of cool. Now I got a survey recently about doing like the corner style mock-up pieces, and I know Brickcraft is doing that as well, and they're doing the stackable sets. Rio Bricks has had some in the past because I've looked at some of those, and I'm wanting to say that Lumi might be doing some of those here pretty soon as well, because that was in our survey. We were talking about that the other day. And then did another survey where we're talking about the what was it, the cyberpunk stuff. And so we were talking about, you know, things that we'd like to see, this, and I actually had mentioned that for the cyberpunk stuff, I'd like to see some builds with kaiju and Jaegers, or like kaiju and mechs. And so I don't, you know, normally they take that stuff, they take it to market, and then they kind of steal on the ideas and they'll contact you. So I'm waiting to find out, but I think having like a kaiju and a Jaeger set, especially from Lumabricks, I think that would be like pretty awesome, because then you could do the whole recreation in your cyber city, because a lot of Pacific Rim has that kind of cyber city look to it. So I was mentioning that on the survey that I thought would be kind of cool and fun. And then, you know, they were asking, like, they were kind of comparing things, asking about, you know, if we liked Cyberpunk 2077, and if we like Blade Runner, what kind of aesthetic, you know, we'd be looking for, what kinds of builds would we be looking for. So they're producing more, and I haven't gotten anything from Fantasy. I haven't gotten any of their builds or anything. I thought about getting the what is it, they have the Garfield set with the pasta. I had thought about getting that one at one point, but again, I'm not, a lot of, like, I like their sets, but a lot of their big sets are kind of priced out of range for me. So like the steampunk airship I wanted to get, but I never find it on sale. And then I think they had, like, it was the brewery, which I really liked. I was like, oh, I'd love to get the brewery, but also it's never been on sale. And then and I'm not too keen on their minifigs, the big head minifigs. But then their smaller sets, when they started doing smaller sets, I'm like, this is cool. They have what was it, the Little Prince, but I'm not a big fan of the Little Prince. And then it was like, hey, they've got, you know, this Garfield set, but it's like, Garfield's, you know, he's okay. So I don't know. I need to actually get a fantasy set so I can see what the build levels are like on that. Let's see. Yeah. Hey, thank you for the press start. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a new one I saw up this morning. I was like, dude, that's kind of cool. A press start? Reminds me of gaming way back in the day. Of course, I mean, I've got stories. I can't remember who I was talking to recently. Oh, it was when I gave blood. I was talking to the lady who was doing my donation set, because I go to Carter to donate blood. And we were talking about, like, growing up and video games and all that, and that was one of the things, is that I would hide the fact that I had the game system on from my dad, because his old NES had put a piece of electrical tape over the light so he couldn't see it when it was on, because I couldn't, once you press start and you get into playing and you're kind of playing through the game, there wasn't a lot of options to save your game. And so if you turned it off or lost power or something happened, you started over from the beginning. And so I was telling her, I was like, yeah, when I was a kid, I would just leave it on for as long as possible. especially if I had to like stop and my dad was like, I need you to come help me, you know, set a toilet, or I need you to come help me do this, or tag the cows or something. Sneaky. Oh yeah. Yeah, like I would want to play really really early, like late at night as much as I could, and you know he could see the light underneath the door, even though we had carpet. He could see the light under the door from the TV, and so what I did is I started throwing a blanket over the TV and over me, and I would turn the volume down, really 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 low, and I would just play up until like really early in the morning. And he never, I would say he never caught on. He never found that I had the system on at night, because I don't think he was looking. And the only time I pushed my luck, he saw, like, he came in to check up on me, and I was underneath the blanket with the TV on, and he didn't turn the system off, but what he did in mid game, he's like, yeah, we're not doing this, and he pulled the cord out of the wall and unplugged everything, and so I lost my game then. And so I just had to get kind of sneaky, a little bit sneakier with it down the road. But yeah, that was an ongoing thing, my dad and I, because during the day I would work all day with him, unless my friend called, was like, hey, you want to come stay the night? Be like, yes, get me out of here, I'm gonna go stay the night. I'm done working. And so I'd go and I'd hang out with my friend Steven, and we would stay up late. His dad worked overnight, so half the time his dad would leave, so we had access to the TV and games and all that all night long. And most of the time what it was is I would sit up at night and go through his toy bin and build just random stuff, and he would play video games up until 3 or 4 in the morning. Alright, that's not a very tight fit. Yeah, let's see if I can change that up a little bit. I'm gonna, can't alter it that way. You know what? I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna shove that down to there. This should have been a day one fix right there. Alright, that's a little bit stronger. Okay. There are times, there are so many times when I work on something, I kind of wonder if the company is watching and taking notes, like whenever I go and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work, or that needs to be fixed. It's like, I'm more than willing for companies to, and I usually try to tag them in anything I build, because I'm like, hey, I want you to be aware of what I'm building and how I'm changing things to better suit, you know, the builder. And I've always been one of those where it's like, I really hope that they watch, so that way they can see like what fixes should be made for future pieces. And I would love to be involved in some of the actual build techniques of some of what they do, because I think that I've got enough backing, that I've got some good understanding of how things would work and be built. Like I said, that light, that should have been a day one fix where they reversed that bar. And it's just something as simple as just taking the bar and turning it around. And I'll kind of show you here in a minute. So what they had us doing on this, and I'm gonna pull it up here so you can see. Okay, is we're gonna take this light part off. We're gonna take this out. Okay. So they had us putting this 1x1 barrel on top of this street lamp, okay? And then they had us putting this bar that has a gapping on it down where it stops into the barrel, and then the light snaps on. Now there's nothing to stop the light. The light is as is. But the problem with it is that's not a very strong connection. hit it, falls off. Hit it, falls off, and the light, you know, you can move it around wherever you want. So, the best thing to do was to take it, turn the bar upside down, where the stem is at the top, run it through the barrel, and you could actually push it into the stem here, push that barrel down, and now you have a stop for your light. And just turning that bar around makes all the difference in the world. It's just like one simple move. It says, let's see. You gotta go. Hey, it was good chatting with you too, Jeff. I'll see you later, okay? You know I want a burger. Man, you always want a burger. You like my... Here. Let me get you a burger, brother. There we go. Got you a Durr burger. Yum, yum, yum. I finally got a second Fortnite build. I got it was the Spark Plugs Camp, I think. Yeah, Jeff, have a good day, brother. Bugga! The Durr burger. Oh, man. Alright, so we're going to be putting this thing down. So we got a broken, it looks like a broken thing here. So that's supposed to go, how is that supposed to go? Right across here. Okay. And again, no solidifying point over there. So far, none of these have stickers. So I'm going to jet ahead a little bit. I'm going to cheat, because I know it's a lot easier to do it now than later. I'm going to grab my brick separator, and we're going to go ahead and put some stickers down. Okay, so we got this one right here. And we're going to put number 10 goes right here. So I'll wipe that down. That's another thing. Mould King, they like to put their stickers on at the very, very last. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't... If you do it when you get into the build, it makes it so much easier. So easy. But it's when you do it afterwards that it's not Der Burger, it's Da Burger. Yeah, there's a part of me that kind of wants to go. We have a joint here in Denton that's called Burger Time Machine, and it's got all these old like movie posters, and it's kind of this cool little joint. And there's a part of me that kind of wants to go and get it. Hey, Pop It, how are you? So now we're going to put this one. We're going to put that on that 1x6 here. Smooth, man. Like butter. Alright, and then we'll put these on here. So we got a 1x3. And then we'll put this one on the other. And that's the backdrop is made. Let's see. I might have to download Fortnite, run the event. Yeah, dude. So far, from what I hear, they're kind of going old school with the event. So we've got the Foundation, and I believe The Rock has come back to do his voiceover work. But we've got the Foundation and the Ice King, and apparently they're squaring off. And there's something going on with the was it the Traveler? I'm trying to remember his name. The spaceman that's been the big villain this season. So there's quite a bit going on that I was like, all right, I've missed the last probably 3 live events. It's like I should probably try to do this one this season. All right, so this is our building. Check that out. You could even open that door a little bit if we want. I mean, I'll totally take these and mod this down the road. Yeah, that leaf is... It's like, leave me alone, but you're going to drive me crazy. Right up there. There we go. But yeah, that's going to be That's kind of slick. It's simple, it's quaint, it's small, but it works. It definitely works. All right, so we're gonna put this over here, and now we're gonna go back to over here, and now we're building a car. Yeah, so apparently the foundation, so the rock plate, the foundation, the one of the seven is actually the character voice, and the body, and in the way the armor was built was kind of based off of his uh, uh, kind of late Attitude Era look, but he's bald. And so that character, the foundation, is he's in one of the scenes, he's like frozen in some sort of weird Ice King cryo sleep thing, and the Ice King is coming to check him out. And I don't know if he's coming back like today. Yeah, the Rock with hair was scary. That's funny. The Rock with hair is scary. Yes, he is. That's why. What was the last movie he did where he was the I think it's a wrestler or boxer that he had his that hair on. It was weirding me out. Definitely weirding me out. At this point, you know, we've seen him for so long without hair, and he's clean shaven and everything. That's what I'm used to. So when I go back and I look at him from early Attitude Era, and he still has, you know, it's short hair, but he still has the hair on his head and everything. I'm like, who is this, and what have you done with the Rock? And I know it's him. You know, his dad had hair too. I think his dad had a. I don't. I'm trying to remember now if his Smashing Machine. Yeah. Yeah, I actually want to watch that. I have a feeling it'll be a good flick. All right, hold on. Flip that over. I'm having to count some steps here. Something doesn't add up. 2, 1, 2. I missed a part. 3. One of the things I love with doing with the Speed Champion style cars is that oftentimes you're building from the ground up, but this one is like everything is ground up. So kind of like with when I did the Make It blocks, that little Speed Champion set there, it was from the ground up. So you're building your chassis and everything, and that's one thing where like I enjoy what Lego does with it, because they give you a chassis already. And so it makes some of that part of the build easier. But there have been some cars that I've built that were the 8 stud wide cars that are just, after a while they become kind of difficult. You're like, dude, this is definitely overcomplicated. Hold on, I saw that you wrote something, but I thought I saw my part here. Pull this up to my eyes. Let me find this part and then I'll answer you what you got. Alright, let's see. It says it doesn't even... No, it doesn't look like him at all. It doesn't. Like, I was sitting there looking, I was like, dude, I'm like totally weirded out by him. You know, I could tell it's him, but like, you know, he's done some prosthetics, the hair, everything just kind of really throws me off. And I think he's hoping that I mean, so far I've heard decent things about it, but I think he was kind of hoping that it would be something that would kind of get him out of just like the normal I guess movie that he does. But it doesn't even look similar to that movie, I know, right? I know. I haven't seen too many wrestlers get out and do anything here recently. Besides for The Rock, he's kind of owned a big portion of Hollywood. Dave Bautista got out for a little bit, but then, I mean, that's been about it. I was gonna watch a movie last night. It was called War Machine. That was on the big net movies, and I don't know. I started, that one looks pretty promising. Have you seen it yet? I'll do this real quick. We've got one. We got some weird parts I've got to put together, so I've got to find those real quick. 2. And then we'll need 1, 2, and a headlight brick. I know that headlight brick's in here. I'm pretty sure I saw it. There it is. And a headlight brick. Okay. The Rock, Cena. Oh, yeah. Man, I can't believe I forgot about John Cena. Yeah, Cena got out. Batista. But interestingly, though, it's always because Cena hasn't gone back to the ring. Batista hasn't gone back to the ring, but Dwayne has a few times to come in and try to do something, hasn't he? Because there was something where he did something with Roman at one point. I can't remember what all was going on, but there were some people that were kind of mad about it. I remember that it didn't set well with everybody. All right. Now we're doing the other on the opposite end. The Miz, I want to say he did. Now, there was a movie that I believe had The Miz in it. There was a wrestling movie that came out a while back that was actually pretty decent, where it was a kid that put on a mask. And I want to say I thought The Miz was in there. I'm trying to remember who else was in that movie, but it was a movie about wrestling, so it was not a kind of an outside of that realm of wrestling sort of movie. Fine, another headlight, and then a brick with a hole in it. Let's see. I think. I thought you had written something else. Yeah, Hold on, I'm struggling. My brain's kind of resetting right now, so give me a minute. It happens when you get old, man. Just forewarning you. You think it's all fun and games till you're mid-sentence, you're like, You can't remember anything. There it is. Do myself a favor, I'm gonna put these tires over here. I'm tired of them getting in the way. Same with these. I'm tired of them getting in the way too. And I have one more headlight brick that I gotta find in this whole mesh of parts that all look the exact same to me. Hopefully, I was about to say, hopefully I don't have one that's missing, but it's there. It is actually there. I think a few of the wrestlers were in Happy Gilmore 2. I never watched it. I never ever watched it. Did you see it? I haven't dealt with Happy Gilmore since it came out in the theater years ago, and I don't even know, like, at one point I thought maybe my kid wanted to watch it, and I think I had mentioned it, and he was like, I'm good. I was like, all right. So I don't think he's even gotten around to seeing like the new one, or maybe we started or tried. I can't remember. I just know that it was like something that turn it this way. It's something that was out, but we never really got into. Let's see. And then I think they put Becky Lynch in the second one. Might have. I mean, the thing is like wrestling itself. It's entertainment. So it's like one of those where it's like it makes sense. It would make sense for someone to be able to go from kind of act like wrestling into acting and be able to do like just some parts here and there, and it shouldn't be like a big ordeal, because again it is strictly like, when you think about it, it's acting. It's just like choreographed live acting and some improv here and there, but for the most part it's just performance. Absolute performance. And it does sometimes fall on that line though of, because I've had people like, well, it's fake. I'm like, it is. It's fake to an extent, but there are some things that are real. Sometimes you do get some people that take it out on others, and they go probably further than need to, or they hurt somebody. There are people that have been absolutely hurt on those stages, and not in a good way either. Like it's rough, whatever injury they've sustained. Now some injuries have been misdiagnosed, some are fine. Kind of like thinking about like IT with the Celtics, right? Isaiah Thomas. My kid brought him up the other day. He played the season he played through. He great entertainer, great ball player, man. But like the whole issue with his hip, and now he can't. He's a tradable asset. Keeps getting traded off because of that injury. He can't play on the level that he was before, and that's just kind of sad, because he was a great player. And I think if they had seen what it was that was going on with him to begin with, he would still probably be a great player today. Yeah, they put a lot of people in the movie. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to add that along with the entire seasons, like 15 seasons of Supernatural. Now I've got to go watch Happy Gilmore too. Man, when am I gonna have time to do anything? It's like never, absolutely never. You'll never be able to step away from anything ever again. Forget your family. You're stuck to the TV from now to the end of time. Oh man. I think there's gonna come a point when I get older that I'll be like, dude, I just want to sit in front of the TV and do nothing. But me, I tend to like to step away and do stuff. Though it's funny, my wife, she was telling me, she's like, hey, let's go out and do something this spring break, because it's almost over for us. I was like, yeah, let's go do something, and instead we ended up going getting tattoos. I went out Thursday. I had to go all the way out to Fort Worth, and I got my tattoo work done by a mom and pop shop. It's called Sedmo. And dude, she did an amazing job. Price super reasonably too. Like I was super stoked about it. Ended up giving some extra on tip. And I think her husband does work as well, so I was super stoked about that one. And then my wife went. They had a Friday the 13th thing going on here in Denton at one of the local. It's like an artist collaboration tattoo place. So she went and got work done there, and then she brought up. She's like, so interestingly enough, we talked about doing something, and yet we both went out and did tattoo work. I'm like, yeah, that happens. Not exactly what we had planned, but I guess it'll work. All right. This is kind of an awkward way of putting together a chassis, but I guess it works. Some of this feels a little like that doesn't feel very good. That feels like that's gonna break. I don't know why we put modified tiles in there. And so the plates, I have no idea. Have no idea. All right, let me check over here real quick. Pop that up. Boom. There we go. All right. Let's see. Guy Fieri, Post Malone, Eminem, Bad Bunny, Boban, Becky Lynch. Dude, and these are all people like in Happy Gilmore 2. That's quite a cast. So here's my thing though. It's like it's got the star power, but is the movie any good? It'd be funny if it has everyone except Adam Sandler. It's got everybody except the actual Adam Sandler, the man. That would be weird. Okay. I did this wrong. I'll pop this off. Bring it back. And it goes back to here. Woo, that's even weirder. That is so weird. Alright, hold on. I've done something wrong. And I'm going to have to go back and rebuild it. So they've got this, it's strange how they have us building this up. So it goes to here, am I correct? Yes. And these clamp on here. 1 and 2. And then 1 up here. Okay. This is one of those, yeah. Adam, we would hope that Adam Sandler was in the movie. Oh man. So this is a, oh man, this is gonna be one of those that it's weird. The putting this one together, this car, this part right here, it's odd. It is very, very odd. And I want to like give it a shout out and be like, yeah, no, this thing is fire. It's odd. This particular part of putting this piece together is just so strange. And then now we are going, I guess we're meeting up here, putting these in here. They don't really, like, they're giving a nice little kind of green outline of showing where things are, but it's not, directions wise, it's a little lackluster. I think it'll look like fire in the end. I think this thing will look great, but right now this part is just, this is odd. Very, very, very odd. All right, 1, 2 of these 2x3s. We're getting into orange, a 2x4 orange. 1 of these, and now we're putting this on the end, right? Yeah. 1 and 2. Okay. So we're building this all up with plates at this point. So this is kind of an odd jump for it, but okay. It's feeling a little bit more solid now. I can relax a little bit. So we got 1, 2. We got a jumper plate. It's a 1x2 jumper plate. Right here. And it looks like 2 of the 1x1 bricks. 1, and 2. Oh, I skipped a beat here. So hold on, we'll put these over here. 1, 2. Another jumper plate, right? Another jumper plate, and then we have a snot break. That's what I missed. Okay. Let's see. That Spider-Man movie needs to come out. Yeah, the Spider-Verse one. Yeah, the Spider-Verse. Yeah, I was actually looking at the figure set. So all the Spider-Verse figures that Lego put out, I ended up getting a few. I got like the full set